kitchen. Thank you for joining me, and today's recipe is from my 4 Seasons Ninja Foodie cookbook, and in there you'll find the full list of ingredients. And if you need any of the equipment that I use during the recipe, then just go over to my website and it'll be linked on my accessories page for you. I really hope you enjoy this recipe. If you do, don't forget to hit that like button for me, and if you're new to Susannah's Kitchen, then subscribe to my channel for new weekly content. I'd love to see some of your creations, so don't forget to add them to my Facebook group and tag me in on my social media platforms. The links are all down below in my description. So I think we've got everything covered. Let's start cooking. Today I'm showing you how to make my mac and cheese with prosciutto and leeks. It's so yummy. This is just a really comforting, great dish. In the bottom, I have got my leeks. In fact, let me take that out. I need to spray those with a little bit of olive oil. Doesn't need to be too much, just want to kind of help them along the way, get them kind of cooking. On my rack, I'm now going to add my prosciutto. Now, it doesn't take a lot of cooking, so which is hence why I've got this on the rack, and then I can just whip that out. But I do want it nice and crispy and crunchy. If for any reason you don't want to use this, you can use bacon instead if you want to in this dish. Or of course you can make it without the prosciutto and the leeks, and you can just make my recipe as a mac and cheese. So that's really down to you how you want to do this. I've got a whole pack here, so I'm just kind of spreading it out the best I can. Last couple of slices going in, and then the last piece there. Great. I'm now going to air fry these. Remove this when it's nice and crispy, and continue with the leeks if they need a bit longer. I'm almost there. I have checked along the way to make sure the timings are just right for you. So remember, the prosciutto needs to be on the low rack, not on the high. And look at this. We've got a nice amount of crispiness. If you want it a little bit crispier, then you can do that. But as this cools, it will crispen up. So I don't want to overdo it too much and have it kind of charred. But yeah, look at that. Look at the nice crispiness we've got to that. So that is perfect. I've just added that to a plate. Just set that aside for now. And then let's remove the rack. We can reuse that rack shortly. And let's have a look at those leeks. Now, the leeks for me want a little bit more time, which is absolutely no problem at all, because all I'm going to do is put the leek back down and carry on cooking. The reason for putting the leeks in the bottom like this is because we're actually then going to be adding some more ingredients straight directly into the pot, which is going to be basically the pasta and the stock. And then we're going to pressure cook. So it was easier to do it this way. So when I do make recipes, I do kind of try and think of the easiest way, the least washing up, and the most efficient. Right, so those are all broken up a little bit more, so they shouldn't need very much more time. Okay, so didn't take much longer at all. Remember, these leeks are going to go under pressure anyway, but I just wanted a little bit of colour on the outside of some of them, and just to crispen those up ever so slightly, which we have achieved there. So that part is now done. In with my macaroni and also my stock. You can use chicken or vegetable stock for this. Now I've got my flour in a shallow dish that's going to fit on my rack. Even though my rack's dirty, I'm just going to reuse that because it's not going to matter. Add in the butter. And what this does is it creates a roux. And we're going to use this later on. But what we're going to do is we're going to cover this with foil. Just make sure that it's really well stirred together. We're going to cover it with foil. We're going to put it on the rack. And it's going to go in at the same time as cooking the pasta. There you go. Unfortunately, my dish has seen better days. I need to get another one of these, but never mind. It's still going to do the job for us. So cover that over. Make sure that's nice and firm around the edges. That goes on the rack. And now we can sit that over the top. Give it a little jiggle. So we've got pasta, leeks, stock. That's going to cook that beautifully. And then we've got our roux now sitting on top of the rack. So I'm going to close the lid and make sure you seal your pressure valve. So your pressure valve is here. Just make sure that is pushed towards the back, which is on seal. And I will be back when this is being cooked under pressure. When your pressure cook time is up and it's doing the natural release, only let the natural release run for the allocated amount of time. Don't let it run the whole way. I'm going to show you now how you then remove the pressure from the pot. It's really simple if you haven't done it before. So I've now reached the amount of time that I want the natural release to run. So I just flick over the pressure valve from seal to vent. And now that's going to allow the rest of that pressure to come out of the pot. And when that's finished, we'll be able to open the lid. I've got my garlic at the ready. You can crush your garlic or you can chop it. It's up to you really what you want to do. As soon as this is ready, I'm going to uncover the roux that we created and I'm going to stir through my garlic. We are almost there because you can hear that the amount of steam and pressure that's coming out of here is decreasing. Okay, we can open the lid. Just be careful of that steam as always. Let's grab the rack. Got a little bit of leek hanging off the bottom there. Don't worry about that. Give it a jiggle. If not, I can add that back in. So pasta and everything is in there. Let's uncover the roux that we created. Give that roux a little stir. Crush in your garlic and then just give that a nice little stir to combine those together. That's just going to take that raw edge off of that garlic because obviously that is really hot. So let's give that a little stir. That is looking lovely. And we've got that leek in there and there's a little bit of liquid in there, so that's great. I'm going to add in that bit of leek that I lost. And let's scrape in the roux. And what the roux does is it works as a thickening agent for us. And stir that through the pasta. You can see how that is changing really quickly. So stop the pressure cook option and go on to sear and saute. We're going to pour in our milk. Just give that a mix as we're going. There you go. Lovely. Can smell that garlic coming through now. Oh yeah, that smells great. This is such a rich, creamy, indulgent meal, this. But as you can see, it takes a few little stages, but actually it's really not difficult. And it's really worth making that effort to make something super delicious like this. It's a great family meal, but if you've got people coming over, I think it's quite impressive as well. So I'm going to add in my sprig of thyme because that's going to help me just flavour that sauce. So let's get that right in the milk. I'm going to add mustard powder into here for flavouring. Gives it a nice little hum, little kick. It's only background. You can leave it out if you really don't want it, but it's not going to taste particularly mustardy. It's just going to be really nice. I've got a bay leaf, so I'm going to submerge that as well. Let's add some black pepper, and I now want to melt in my 3 cheeses. I've got strong cheddar, Gouda, and if you can get hold of it, use Monterey Jack cheese. If you can't, then find a substitute. Have a look online. Mild cheddar does do the job as well. My Gouda, by the way, I couldn't get a block, so I've actually got some slices, and then I've just chopped those up, just so that they're going to melt well. Okay, so you don't want the sear and saute too high. because obviously we don't want to burn anything in here. But we now just want to melt all of this together. So I'm on level 2 for reference. Oh my goodness, look at this. It is going to be oozy and stringy. Super, super cheesy, this. Remember, we've got that prosciutto from earlier. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to break some of it up and I'm going to put some in shortly and then save some back for the topping. And I've actually got more cheese for the topping as well. And we have got some breadcrumbs. It doesn't matter whether you use shop-bought or homemade breadcrumbs. It's really down to you. The thyme and the bay leaf I will be removing. It's just whilst this cheese sauce is coming together, it's just adding some nice flavour in there. So this is done really well. This has come together pretty quickly. And I think a lot of that cheese is melted down really fast. Obviously, we had a lot of heat in there. Pasta was warm. Look how gorgeous that mac and cheese is. So now to sprinkle that in, look at that. As I said, I have saved some back for the top, but we want some of this running through it. I've removed my thyme, but right now, I can't actually find my bay leaf. It's in there somewhere. Where are you? I will find you. Okay, we'll find it in a minute anyway. Look at that. Gorgeous mac and cheese with just a little twist on a normal mac and cheese with those extra flavours, and the way we have cooked this just makes it so good. And it's brilliant that you can use your Ninja Foodie to create it. I've managed to find my bay leaf, so that's good news, and I've poured it into my Ninja pot because I'm going to bake it in the Ninja like this. All we have left to do is add some more of our cheeses on the top. We want a really nice, bubbling, crispy top to this. So spread that all out. I know it's very calorific, this, but as a treat, it's a really good one. And then I have got my breadcrumbs. Now I am using panko breadcrumbs. As I said earlier, you can most definitely create your own breadcrumbs if you prefer. And then we have also got the leftover pieces of the crispy prosciutto. Just mingle all this in together, sort of spread it out the best you can. Last few bits of breadcrumb over the top there. And the very last thing I like to add to this is a little pinch of cayenne pepper. Now that works so well with the cheese, it's unbelievable. Doesn't need to be a lot, a pinch or as much as you want really. Now that goes in my pot and that gets baked. Time is almost up. Just a little tip, if it is colouring too much and you don't want it to be too brown on the top, just cover it with a little bit of foil partway through cooking. It's nice to get a little bit of colour on there, but I find that it can be a bit too much. So I just add a little sheet of kitchen foil. There you go. Whoa, that is bubbling. Look how gorgeous my mac and cheese is. I like a crispy top. I like to let this sit as well, just for sort of 5 minutes or so before I serve it. Just so delicious. I really hope you give this a try. Thank you for watching, and I really do hope that you've enjoyed the recipe and that you give it a try yourself. If you do wish to purchase any of my cookbooks with delicious recipes just like this, then please head over to my website www.susannahskitchen.uk.